There's a lot of controversy out there floating around the Constitutional Convention in New York State and this critical ballot measure that we will all be voting on November 7th, 2017. I'm here with Zack Smith, a political activist, candidate, campaign organizer, activist extraordinaire, and we're going to discuss and debunk some of the myths that are swirling around the Constitutional Convention. Zack, let's talk about the top 3 myths about the Constitutional Convention. This was the love child of progressives for literally decades to get into the Constitution and to make all these great changes. Can you speak to specifically why there's a very, very high reality possibility that in fact will never be the case?
Yes, so this will not be a progressive convention. The fact is that we have to elect delegates, and 95% of races are won by the person with the most money in New York today. And the people with the most money are not going to be us, the progressives. In my state Senate district, my senator gets 4 times as many donations from one political committee as every single individual contributor combined. There's no reason to believe that the delegate election process will be any different.
Well, how do you feel like that could impact? I mean, we've got a critical congressional election in 2018. How do you see that impacting that possibly?
Well, the delegate selection process will cost us another $50 million. That's what it will cost just to run the campaigns. We also need extra staff. We have 204 races. That means we need 204 campaign managers, 204 field directors. We don't have unlimited resources, which means that we're going to be taking resources, if we have to elect delegates, we're taking resources away from congressional races. This could really cost us elections, other elections, the state Senate, assembly races, congressional races, if it actually happens.
Building blue from the bottom up.
Yes, we need to elect Democrats, we need to elect progressives at every level of government, and adding 204 new elections is just going to take away from our ability to do that.
Yeah, it's just so critical. What else do you think people should know about that you think are generally believed myths about the Constitutional Convention and why it's a good idea?
Well, there's this myth that we can have a people's convention. I already mentioned the money aspect,
yes.
But going back to 1967, which was the last time we had a convention, we didn't have a people's convention. Most of the delegates, 80% of the delegates who were elected to the convention were sitting elected officials, former elected officials, judges, party leaders, their staff.
The old guard.
These are the same people who have failed to implement the policies that people want. If 80% of the people have already failed in their job, why do we believe that they would do any differently if we elected them to delegates to the Constitutional Convention?
Well, because they'd earn another $80,000 a year while they were doing it.
Yes, so delegate,
So,
yeah, exactly. So delegates get paid $80,000 a year plus their staff. In 1967, there were over 300 staffers. We are spending millions and millions of dollars on a Constitutional Convention process. And in 1967, the people voted down everything that the convention recommended. Nothing changed.
Thanks for joining us, and to see Zack's full talk at the Big Con, please go to cd19indivisible.org.